Welcome back to Quiet Money Podcast, the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. Stay tuned. We're coming up next. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Quiet Money Podcast. I am your host, Dax. Quiet Money Podcast is the number one podcast for going through the ups and downs of life. Excited to have you back here with us today. My co-host, as always.
What's up?
What's up? You can say
what it do, boo?
You can say your name.
Oh, Randy. I was just happy to be here.
Hey, yo, listen, man. I got a whole lot of stuff in my mind, as always, talking about the ups and downs of life. And listen, anybody who ain't listened to our show before, don't let nobody tell you any different. Don't believe any different. Life has its challenges. It's got ups. It's got downs. And as you're going through your journey to be successful, this is the show that you need to tap into, right, babe?
That's right.
But you know what's one of the ups and downs I've been struggling with?
No.
Wait. Wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know this.
Like, listen, man. Just trying to stay in shape. You know what I mean? Weight go up, down, especially as you get older. It's hard. But just going through the ups and downs and just being in shape and just trying not to put on too much weight, man. I swear to God.
I've been in that struggle. Yeah. I feel like my whole life.
Hey, but so look, I brought that up because I wanted you to tell me a little bit more before we got on the pod today. You was telling me. Now listen, you was about to start telling me about this challenge, right? And listen, guys, man, you're trying to do what you need to do, take your life to the next level and everything. You're going to have some challenges, right? Some of them challenges are going to be real hard. This is probably one of them, as we're talking about weight.
So let's talk about weight.
Yeah, I want you to tell everybody about the challenge, though.
But I don't have the information in front of me. Let me tell you what I do now.
What you know. Yeah.
Okay, it's a challenge. It's called 75 Hard.
All right.
And basically, it's a 75-day challenge. And if you mess up one day, you got to start all over. So if you mess up on day 74,
days of whatever
then you have to start all over.
All right.
You have to work out twice a day for 45 minutes each. So 2 workouts. And I don't know what there's some sort of meal thing that goes with it, but I don't know about that part. And then you have to read for 10 minutes a day because you got to work on your mental, nonfiction book or something.
Right.
10 minutes a day.
So it's got an exercise part to it. It's got a little reading or other tapping into other things.
Yeah.
All right. Why do you think that's got that part?
It's not just physical improvement.
Right.
And physical is related to mental. So it's supposed to put you in the best shape of your life.
All right.
So that's enlightening your mind, body, and soul.
Mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Why not?
Hey, I feel you. So look, listen, man. We ain't stay on this too long, but this is the thing you said that I want to sit on real quick. First off, if you mess up with those rules or whatever other rules you don't know, right? You got to start all over again.
Yeah.
And it's also got an element to it, which is like physical body exercise, but also, mental relaxation, trying to get your other well-being, per se, in a better space. That's the second thing. The last thing is the fact that it's 75 days. 75 days is a long time. I find that as something that's really, really impactful and challenging. That's my fan right there, my dear. But listen, you're doing it for 75 days. Why for so long? Why do you think you're doing it for so long?
I think the purpose of it is to create a new habit, a new way of living, because I can tell you, I've done some things for 21 days, and I've heard that, it takes 21 days to create a new habit. Nah, not for me.
You can break it after 21.
I will break it after 21. Yeah. I can break it after 35.
Right.
It's not a habit for me. I will say, since we're talking about working out I've been working out consistently for a year, and it's still not a habit for me because outside of me going to my trainer, I don't really do it on my own like I should. The habit is not the working out. My habit is going to the trainer.
I like that. Hey, so look, even with these 75 days, that's dope. Like, it's trying to make you into having better habits, and that's why you're doing it for so long, right?
Right.
the other thing is the physical part of it, but also the mental time that you're taking for yourself. I think that's important too, and there's a reason why they're getting you to do that. But it's touching on all of these different things to try to make it something that you will be doing over and over again after the 75 days.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what they're hoping for. That's what you're hoping for too.
Yeah.
Right? Now the last part, starting all over again if you mess up during the 75 days. That's teaching you the perseverance. And I think they expect you to have to start over. In most instances, they probably expect you to have to start over. So what happens if you start over? Them 75 days probably become 80 to 100 or a longer period of time because your 75 days off the break is hard.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I think it's like a little trick in it that's even trying to just get you to, over a longer period of time, continue to push to be a better person physically and mentally, right? Now, I say all that because it made me think about me coaching and what I'm doing in the off season too with my players. You know what I'm saying? We're playing a game right now where if they mess up, we got to start all over again. Right?
Yeah.
Same type of thing. And as we're going along and getting better at it, we got to start. And I was just doing it this morning. That's why I'm talking about this. Once we get to 10 or 20 in this game, because we're counting up numbers as part of this game, ball control game, right? Once we get to 10, 20, people start to tighten up. You see what I'm saying? The people start tightening up. I'm going somewhere with this, guys. Trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. But once you start succeeding, you start tightening up. Why is that? It's almost like you're afraid of the potential of what's to come. But when you're first getting through, you're excited, you're pushing it, you got to 5, you got to 10, and then you start realizing
you can do it.
That you could do it.
Yeah.
And that's when you start tightening up. And that's when I was telling them this morning, like, that's when you start having to talk to each other more. That's when you start having to give a more effective or easier pass to the person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's where we got to start communicating, really focusing, ignoring the fact that it's hot. There's all these other skills that all of a sudden we need to come put into play as soon as we started succeeding. I say all that because the same thing with your challenge and what I'm doing, that's what I was thinking about today. And what I wanted to pour about today is how to respond and like really knowing what's going to happen when you start succeeding in things. You know what I'm saying?
So, am I doing this?
No, we what you mean you? We together.
We are? We're going to do it?
Together. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure.
We can do it. Nah, we can do it. But look, that's what I'm saying. Like, again, keeping it real on my podcast, like, there's different steps as you go through your journey. If you want to be a business person, if you want to be investing or whatever you want to do to be successful, like, there's peaks and valleys in it, and it's not all good. And one of these spots in it is not just tough times trying to figure out what to do in the beginning. Like, it's not that. It's actually starting to succeed a little bit. And then encountering instances where you might have to start all over. You see what I'm saying? That's my point. You might have to start all over, right? Nah, I say that because with you told me something the other day, and I want you to tell me what you was thinking and feeling when you said this, but you kept telling me about how you was afraid because what you was doing, you knew that it was good. And you knew that it was going to work. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting because, like, if you think about our other episodes and stuff, we talked about the tough times we had and, like, we wanted to make more money and you're being behind my back and all, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now we're like, oh, it's better now. Like,
it's
actually, I'm actually doing these things that I wanted to do. And now you're sitting there and you're like, yo, I'm afraid because I'm actually seeing that this could work.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me what you was thinking about, how you was feeling, what's going on with that. And I know there's a lot in it. So I'm going to stop talking. But I want to know what you meant by that when you was like, I'm scared because this is going to work.
I'm just trying to, like, go there and just sit in my feelings on how I really feel. But here's what I've come to realize. Most people, you can outwork them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because I always feel like when I'm doing something, I talked to you about this the other day too, like what is actually 100%, right? And I know that I can do my best, and even my best has like really produced some good results, right? But if I can really focus on something, like most of the time, I kill it. So right now, the fear of success, like I know it's going to work because I've seen it. And when I say I've seen it, I've dreamed about it. Mm-hmm. Like I really feel like it was a dream that was given to me, like a vision. But I saw myself successful,
right,
like with the microphone in front of me. So that's one thing.
Oh, you didn't tell me that part.
I didn't tell you. Okay.
You didn't tell me it was a microphone in front of you.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that scares me.
Right.
Because you want me to tell you? I mean, I don't know if I need the world to know.
Tell me. Nah, seriously.
The 5 people that are listening.
No, listen. Look, at the end of the day, listen, man. Why we're talking about this is because authentically, that's what's happening with us. And I know that could be happening with a lot of people, which is you had an idea, you had something that you've been feeling that you wanted to try, you go try it, or you want to change something, and then it's like, yo, this is actually scary because why not me? Like,
right.
This could work. Like, and I feel it, and I just want you to go there, like, as to what was good with that, because there's other people that's out there. Trust me, like, it's real. Like, you don't just realize, like, oh, this could work, and then you're just comfortable with it, and then you just go with it, and you go make it, like, it don't be like that. You'd be terrified.
Yeah, it's your mind. Like, if you believe it can work in your mind, because that's where it all starts. It really can work. As long as you're working towards whatever it is that's in your mind, it can work. And I'm realizing it. And the thing is, I'm okay with being in the background. But recently, I've been in like different groups, and people have said like, wow, I really like how you present, or I like how you talk, or, oh man, you really motivated me to do this, that, and the other. So my mind gets to thinking, well, if I could do it for that person and that person, then I'm actually probably okay with motivating or, giving advice. Like, they can look at me and say, oh, she inspires me. Like, oh, what she had to say impacted me. So that lets me know, well, the more people I speak to, I might be able to have some sort of impact on them, which means that my goal is going to work.
Hey, that's
some
crazy.
People gonna fail me, and some people ain't. And that's fine with me.
That's right.
So, but it's in my mind, like, okay, like I can see it. I don't look at the negative, but I'm just trying to focus on, okay, I can see it. What's the next step? What do I need to do? Just plant seeds. And I let God do the rest. I know the power of thoughts. I know the power of positive thinking. I know the power of negative thinking. And you really shape as you think. You make decisions as you think. So, okay, so here's the fear, because I've kind of explained it, but with all of that emotion into it, what if it really works? Because I can see, okay, yeah, this might really work, but now we're talking about a different level that I've never been to before. And that's the scary part, because you're walking into something, and I belong here, obviously, because I'm here. But I've seen the impact that it can have on people. And I have seen people's lives changed by dreaming bigger or working towards that goal. Like, I have seen it. I have followed people on social media and just seen it from like the beginning all the way up into where they are now. And it's just consistency that I see. Putting in the work. I don't know if they're killing, like, I don't know what people are doing behind the scenes, but I can say, wow, man, they put out 2 podcasts a week. or like Tabitha Brown. I seen her when she was on Facebook in her kitchen cooking, and now she got a line at Target. But I seen it.
Yeah.
So I look at it and I'm like, well, dang, like why not me? Like I can have a success story like that. Like yeah, I put a podcast studio in my closet. I sure did. This was my walk-in closet, absolutely.
Right.
But
ain't nothing in here now. We sharing the closet.
Yeah, but there's no excuse.
Right.
So why can't it be me? But oh my gosh, if it's me, oh Lord,
Right.
I can't. I mean, it's hard to really, because what if it is me? Like my mind can't even. It's like it can conceive that it can be me, but it's like it can't conceive that it can be me at the same time.
So you're in a little tough little spot right now. But is it an exciting time? Is it scary, or it sounds like
it's both? But I would say I'm fearful of making goals around it because I don't want to define success. And if we're talking about the podcast specifically, is it downloads? Is it listeners? Like I don't know, and I want to enjoy the ride. Mm-hmm. I want to enjoy, like I'm enjoying doing this with you. I'm enjoying our conversations.
Of course.
So I would like to see where it's going to go, and I don't know that I want to start making goals around it, or maybe I'm just not ready yet.
That ain't even us for real.
You're right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing, like, and I'm always telling you, and anybody that's listening for the first time that don't even know why we even started to do this podcast, but like sometimes in your life you do things that you want to do, sometimes you do things you have to do, and then sometimes you might do things that you're like called to do. And I have conversations with this girl all the time and her mama about so many different things over the years. And
my late mom.
Your late mom, sorry.
Yeah.
And one of the things that she told me when we were sitting down at the table one time was how much she knew you was bubbling. And when she said it, I felt it. And that's why everything you do since then has never really surprised me, because I felt like I'm really been a part of something that is supposed to happen for you. I don't really know what's supposed to happen for me yet.
Really? Because I feel like you're the star.
Hey, I don't know. But no, serious. I really feel like that, because that's the type of person I am. So when all of that happened, like, I don't think anything happens by coincidence. I think everything has a reason. And I feel like it's not a reason why she said what she said, because that's one thing, but it's a reason why I received it the way I did. And the way I received it was in an impactful way that I really felt that it was true. Yeah. And I can't shake that. So that's why I could sit here and talk to you, even though I know podcasts, none of that. And I know that whatever you're doing to make yourself better, if I'm a part of that, I'm doing what the right thing is. I swear to God. Because I feel that.
I love you so much.
I'm serious, man.
You're my best friend.
I'm serious. I could feel that. So that's why I don't even put no girls around it. And the thing is, quiet money, living life in a quiet way, it's all right. You can celebrate your success, but make sure it's real, authentic. Like us right now, you guys see us in a couple months. If we're doing better, you're going to hear about it right on the show, because what you're hearing right now is exactly where we're at right now.
You sure will hear about it.
Yeah, for real. And right now, we're in a period of change that people will be able to follow us through and see how things turn out. Now, you said something. I'm going to tell you something that you probably know. Let me tell you guys something about Randy, though. You guys don't know Randy. I'm going to tell you a couple of things about Randy real quick. Because Randy is somebody that is realizing something now that I knew a long time ago. And I think a lot of people that meet Randy would know. And hopefully this is something that you can aspire to be as an individual. But the one thing about Randy that stands out is that she's going to make it through anything. That's like her thing. If you wrote it on a shirt, she's going to make it. You know what I'm saying? She's like the strongest person I've ever met. When I first met her, that was the one thing that I knew right away, was that she was independent. She could do her own thing. She didn't need nobody. It's like it just reeked off her. It just reeked off her. Like, you know what I'm saying? It like literally reeked off her that I am all myself secure with what I'm doing. And maybe she didn't even feel that way about herself, but that's what
I think I did.
That you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I was raised by a single mom.
I'm telling you, like, and that's what I knew. That's what I knew right off the bat about you. So that's why everything you ever did I've always looked at you like as your own stuff. Like somebody that's always gonna do that. I knew you was smart in school. I knew you was doing well. I wasn't surprised you had your own job, your own truck, like taking care of your child. Like none of these things surprised me because it's just a way that you walked and even like carried yourself, even just in the hallway at school. If that could be something that I could pick up on in my 20s and I didn't even know you yet, what you could probably do now for people with all the experience you've had and things you've tried and failed at and that kind of thing, like I hope that you realize that that's why people gravitate to you, because you do exude a independent confidence, and most people trust in that. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you know that. That's why I be pushing you the way I do sometimes to talk to people and stuff like that, because the thing that you're nervous about is something you're actually great at. And it's hard to show you that because you're worried about it. You know what I'm saying? But you're actually great at it.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Real talk. You know what I'm saying? And it's just you're going through your own journey, but I've known you to be great at something for a long as well. That I'm glad that you're seeing it now. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of people's going to benefit from that. For real. People say a lot of things, but the actions always show what's true or not. That's the truth. Mm-hmm. And just now, I want to say that I believe 100% what you're saying, because you said that, why not you? And you're starting to feel like, you know, you gave the Tabitha Brown example, and you're like, well, what, it could be me. Like, you're looking at your situation like, I believe this could work. I know that you are in that spot because the type of information you consume now, lately, is way different. And I sit there and I notice it. So, like, for example, sometimes you might go on social media or whatever, you want to be entertained. You go online, you want to be entertained. There ain't nothing wrong with being entertained. We all go online every day to be entertained a little bit. But over the last year and a half, I think you are pervasively listening to stories of people that's made it. You're tapping into podcasts, you're getting into these type of books. Like, I'm always hearing you listening to like inspirational type quotes from people. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, let me know, but I feel like, I don't know if that's because you want to see or be inspired by that, or if that's really where you feel like you are. But like, that's one thing I notice about you, is that's pretty much everything you're listening to and watching, which is like podcasts from people that's made it. You're following other people's stories. You probably come to me about 4 times telling me about somebody that you used to watch that's now big.
Yeah. Now. I can tell you what it is. It's one word. Focus.
All right.
I'm not, right now, I know there's a lot of things going on in the world. But right now, I have to focus. I only want to hear inspirational stuff like that. Negative things and all the stuff, especially in the area, all the crime, like just everything that's going on. I do feel, some sort of way about it, but I don't need to hear it all the time. Mm-hmm. Like right now, I have to focus. So that means a pouring into myself. Whether I'm listening to gospel music, whether I'm watching the podcast, listening to stuff on entrepreneurship, reading the book, like I really have to get my mind right. Like the mind is critical. And I've learned that more than ever now, especially dealing with, negative mindsets.
Hey, but haven't you always wanted, because I know you always had your own job and stuff, but haven't you always wanted to maybe have a business, do things, make money, be successful, have a nice car, have a nice house? Are those things you always wanted? Or is it, right? In general. Those are things you always wanted.
Right.
All right. But now you're actually, it seems like, doing something different to try to get information to how to get these things.
Yes, because my reality tells me, based on your job, our business, we're kind of limited.
Right.
into what we can pull in. And if I look at it with reality eyes, shoot, we're going to be in this house forever. Or it's going to take us a while to get to a bigger house, a better car, and all that stuff, because I can run the numbers. I can calculate, okay, you probably get a raise this much, a bonus this much, okay, the business can only grow but so much.
Yeah.
That's why the other venture, it requires focus, and it requires a change in how I normally operate, and it requires a hell of a lot of faith.
I feel like I'm realized that I never really had a plan for stuff. Like there's kind of things like I just said about what I really wanted. Because I think I'm always probably wanted the same thing, money, this, and that. But like, do you really have your own plan? Nah. I don't think I've had a plan. I know you've always tried to plan. But like me, now I'm in this spot more where I'm realizing like, all right, well, I need to actually have a plan to get to certain levels by certain times, and urgency comes into it and that kind of thing. And I just realized I never really had a plan. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if a lot of other people in that same space were, and again, I don't think a plan always has to be knowing all of the steps from beginning to end, because you're going to learn and have to adjust it along the way. But like, really, have you actually sat there and taken the things you said and like really wrote it down and been like, is that ever actually going to happen with anything that I do every day? Because like, sometimes you write it down and you be like, that ain't never going to happen, if you really be honest.
Right.
But if you write, you always be good about writing stuff down and all that type of stuff. But like,
man, I have so many journals and notebooks.
I'm realizing like you got to be honest on if you even have a plan for what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? And if you don't, you got to go ahead and actually, because that's going to tell you at least at first if you're really trying to do it.
Right.
Like plan to do it. Any other stuff you want to do, you pretty much plan and then you go ahead and do it. But these bigger things, I'm talking about there's bigger things, there's scary things, there's risk-taking things, there's things that you're going to struggle with, whether it's earning a business, whether it's whatever it is, like you got to have some type of plan for it to actually do it. With that, check this out, right? Last time we was on the pod, I was feeling great. I'm still feeling great, but I come back from vacation. You know what I mean? Had that real good soccer game with my son. I was replenished. I was refocused, like you, talking about focus. I went back to work for a week. You know what I mean? And I went back to having to do what I have to do, which everybody has to do. And then just like that, I'm sitting there realizing like, it's hard. Mm-hmm. It's hard, man. Like, it's really hard. Like, I don't want anybody to not think it's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard to do anything outside of the bare requirements, because a lot of times the bare requirements is a lot in itself. You know what I'm saying? Taking care of your kids, taking care of your family, trying to keep a job, trying to make money, trying to take care of yourself. It's hard. So when you sit there and decide, hey, I want to go find out what my ultimate purpose is. I want to go take a big risk. I want to go, okay, like I want to be outside of the normal. It's hard to do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to do it later in life. And it's hard to do it when the skills that you need to do it, you're learning them later on. It's not impossible, but it's harder. You know what I'm saying? And I say all that because I think it's good for you. And I'm starting to do it a little bit, but for us it's even more urgency to try to learn from other people. You know what I'm saying? It's even more urgent to have the right people around us to like help us through things. You know what I'm saying? To help us figure out the right way to do it and not try to do everything on our end. Even with this podcast, like we talk back and forth about how we're going to have this going. You know what I mean? Being monetized, like how we're going to keep it going.
We're going to figure it out.
We're going to figure it out, but we're going to go the right way.
Yeah.
And, producing it and everything, you know what I mean? And not taking the shortcuts. You know what I'm saying? Take a risk with that. But I'm just, after this week, I just I don't want to say got re-humbled a little bit, But it's okay. I had to tell myself it was okay, but like, it's just really hard to do. You know what I'm saying? And I just want people to know that it's okay. But like, when you're sitting there and you're wondering why you haven't gotten to that idea you have, and it's like, it's okay. Like, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's not an excuse.
You're busy.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. And that's sometimes just the only answer for why you ain't did it. Now, just because something's hard, it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? And I want to transition it from there, because you have to recognize that it's hard, but then realize, well, what happens next?
Maybe that's why the challenge is called 75 hard.
I'm good. Listen, I'm good.
Ooh.
I'm going somewhere with I always go somewhere with what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Trust me, man. But I'm saying it's hard for a reason. Everything that is going to have a big change in your life seems to have that word hard with it. At some point, whether it's in the beginning, in the middle, it's going to be hard. And that's just my thing. You know? Now, there's people, of course, that's born into money. Like, some aspect of your journey to be successful and sustain it is hard, even if you was born into money. You don't know what to do. Like, there's always a challenge that's actually hard, you know? And the hard part is going from where you are to another level. That's the hard part. You know what I'm saying? And there's big types of changes, you know?
And how about this?
What's up?
Do you know anybody at the next level? You see what I'm saying?
I don't. And if I did, which is a whole nother podcast, I don't know if they'd want to bring me up to that level with them. And I want to hear from people. Like, if you got something in your life that you've been trying to do, and you can really relate with us and just be like, look, I ain't did it because it's hard. I don't know what to do, or I have tried. It's just hard. Like, and at the same time, I ain't taking it forever. It's all right, but we want to help you through that. You know what I'm saying? Because you cannot forget that the fact that it's hard is representing how big and impactful it's going to be if you do it. You know what I'm saying? Just like that 75-day challenge or whatever. It's hard. But if you actually did it for the 75 days, every aspect to it, the reward on the other side of it is big.
These abs that's about to come.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But everybody that's listening, where is he going with this? Like, how can this relate to me? Like, what could I take away from this? One thing. Yes, it's hard. Don't give up. Go forward even more. That's when you have to tap into your resources. Anybody around you, tap into positive things like Miranda's doing. Tap into other podcasts. Find ways to be inspired around that thing that's hard. See other people that's did it already. Try to break down that hard into something that you can go and try to do and not be paralyzed by it. You see what I'm saying? You have to acknowledge it, but then you have to take action on it. The action part is the hard part. The acknowledging you do, but then you got to take action. I think some of the things that you're doing, even though you don't realize it, you're tapping into these shows, you're listening to things because you are feeling the hard part and you need a release for real. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't just sit there all the time and feel like how hard it is for all the things that's in your universe, which I want to let you know. I want you to let me know if I'm missing something. You're trying to be a better mama around the house. You're trying to spend more time with your kids. You're trying to make more food in the house because you want to have less preservatives and boxed up food. So you want to cook. You know what I mean? You want to get your podcast going. You've changed the business. We talked about that. You want to grow that. You know what I'm saying? And that's just 4 things. You're a coach, you're a team manager for a soccer team. You can put everything into that. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's other things you even talked about that you want to do one day. Write a book. Like, there's so much stuff that you want to do.
Tighten up the physical.
All of that. It's a lot of things that you want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the first thing I want people to remember is, like, when it's hard, that's when you sit there, take it in, acknowledge how hard it is, you know? But don't let it paralyze you.
And give yourself grace.
Give yourself grace. Don't let it paralyze you.
Yeah.
And then from there comes in the, what do I need? All right. What do I need to conquer it? It steps into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't think you need to figure out the steps to resolve it while you're still acknowledging how hard it is. Like, let that sit for a second. It's cool. But now it's hard. All right, what do I need to tap into? How do I start to break this down? Because you can't lose sight on the fact that it's going to be so rewarding in the end. Mm-hmm. The fact, if you do lose sight on that, you may not get the ultimate reward that's out there for you. All right. I want you guys to take this away. There's a couple of ways that this could go, but I'm going to talk about 2 ways. And I'm going to talk about one way, which is obvious, which is you start the challenge, you do it for a little bit, it's too hard, and you quit.
That happened to me the last time I tried to start it.
Yeah, talk about that.
I probably went 4 days. But I already know what my challenge was and what my problem was, and that's accountability. Like, I'm trying to do it by myself. So that's why I failed.
Mm-hmm. So you quit it.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I'm pretty sure you ain't the only person that's quit something like that or something that's real hard, put it down, didn't have the person there to support you. It's always helpful to have somebody with you mm-hmm. for things, you know. And that's another thing. From the beginning of time, in our belief, it has been proven that we need companionship in some type of way. Mm-hmm. All right. And we truly believe that. That's not a wife. That's not but it's believing that no matter how great it is, because think about it, the way what we believe, you know, Adam, Eve, heaven, you know, no matter how great it wasn't great enough until you have the companion. You know mm-hmm. what I'm saying? So anything you're going through in your life, even individual, I know the world's all about being an individual. You don't need nobody, blah, blah, blah. But the other side of not needing nobody is called lonely. And so you got to be careful with that. You know what I'm saying? But we really believe that it's better in general. At some point, you have some type of companionship. That's what human beings need. We really believe that. All right. So the one path is people quit. Got you. All right. That happens. I'm sure you know a lot of people, maybe yourself. It got hard, put it down, we quit. That's not what I really want to focus on. And this is what I want to know if you're comfortable even sharing this, but I want to be transparent about something. And I want to reach a lot of other people that might be like this. A couple episodes ago, I told you about how you could still be successful, but not be pushing yourself to your max and not be really tapping into what you really could be or what you're called here to be. It doesn't mean that you're always going to be failing. You could be succeeding and doing well to a lot of people along the way. All right. But what does that really mean? That's what we're going to jump into for a little while, for the rest of our show, I think. What does that really mean when you're still doing well to most people, but you're not at your max to yourself? What do I mean by that? Think about the other option of the challenge. This is what a lot of people do. This is what I would say you and I would do in most instances. We start the 75-day challenge. We do about 10 days good. We fall. We got to start over. Maybe we don't do anything for a week.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're not starting over right away.
No, look, we don't do anything for a week or two. Then we say, all right, I'm going to try this challenge again. Mm-hmm. Then maybe we do it for 5 days. And because we had put it down before, it gets put down again. Mm-hmm. But we in our mind, we know that we're committed to this 75-day challenge. And, you know, we was able to do 10 times and we broke down, okay, give ourselves some grace, like most of us do. Mm-hmm. It's okay, blah, blah. Then we go back and do it for 5 days. We fall. Now, no matter what, human nature, when we fall that second time after the 5 days, it won't feel as bad because we fell before. And I don't want to say it was okay, but it was okay. It was okay. Right. So think about this. I want people to relate to this. So think about how you might do this 75-day challenge. This is how we might do it. We pick it up 10 days, fold on, pick it up 5 days, fold on. Then we don't do nothing for a month. Then we go hard for a month. And we get 30 days of this challenge done. And then we drop it. And time goes on and time goes on. And the 75 days as it's originally set up never gets done like that. Now, everybody that's looking at us, they see, hey, yo, you look a little skinnier, yo. They're like, hey, yo, like, I see your arms are turned up a little bit. What you been doing, man? Hey, you're looking good. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you're looking, whatever it is. The people that's around you are noticing what's happening to you during this period of time that you're trying to do this challenge. Because you are improving. Of course you're going to be improving compared to the person that ain't doing nothing.
Right.
You will always be improving to them. But they're not doing anything. So what does that really mean? Are we being successful during that challenge? I would say yes. I think anybody that's listening would be like, yo, you know, you're doing what you can. You know, it's better than not doing nothing. They're like, it's true. But the truth of the matter is, we will be living our life never really knowing what it could have been like and what it could have looked like if we did the straight 75 days without cheating. Right?
Right.
So I say that because what I'm going to love about this podcast is the fact that I could say all that and admit that Woody type that I just laid out, that's how we would do the challenge so far in our life. And if anybody could relate to that, first of all, subscribe to the Patreon. If you can relate to what I just said, and I'm not knocking anything, it's just keeping it real. Like,
yeah, that's how we do.
That's how we would do it. And everybody that would look at us would be like, oh, look at them, blah, 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 blah. But don't you know on the inside, it's a different story. So that's why when that person sits there and tells you, hey, girl, you're looking good, like, blah, 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 you be like, thank you.
But in your mind, you're like...
But in your mind, you're like, girl,
I'm telling you.
Right, right.
If I didn't have that milkshake yesterday.
Facts. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're not in the same space that she's in.
Right. And that's cool.
At some point, but the thing that I love is the fact that you know that is something that bothers you now. So everybody that's listening, if that's you, don't feel bad about it. Don't feel like anybody's saying it's bad or something's wrong with you. But the people you're listening to are the people that are realizing that I actually feel bad about that. And I actually, through my podcast, I want to be the type of person that's going to take that 75-day challenge. Just an example.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it for the 75 days. And I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah. But see, I feel a little bit differently about it.
All right.
Because for me, I would look at it and I would, you know, we do the 10 days, fall off, 5 days, fall off. And I would try to, like, even knowing like, dang, you could have been better. I'm going to consciously be like, but I love that you even tried. You know, I love you for just, like, when I say I love you, I love myself for, you know, even trying to do something like that. Like
I agree with that.
Trying to do the hard thing.
But here's the thing. What is most valuable to you? You see what I'm saying? What is most valuable to you?
I think that is probably the most valuable thing. Because it's two things. Because it does hurt if I haven't gotten to it, and I'll never know what it could have been. But also, I have beat myself up so many years over my appearance and how I could be better. And, you know, if you worked out more, like, I'm so tired of beating myself up. It's very important for me to love myself in the process of trying to get to the 75.
Interesting. You said love yourself. You don't even know where I begin sometimes.
I don't know where this is going, but I'm here for it.
But you just said something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said what I was hoping you'd say, which is loving yourself. It's a reason why you felt a little different than me. But I want you to know we were saying the same thing.
Yeah.
You are not comfortable right now being that person that don't do the 75-day challenge to the max. That's what you ultimately want to do. And now you're in a period in your life where you're listening to things and tapping into things to try to help you get there because you actually want it. And you realize you need to have a plan in place and it's hard and you got to tap into stuff, right? So we're on the same page there. But back to our last episode and the trip we took with our kids and everything. It's a reason why this show is called Quiet Money. Because it sounds like underneath it all, you love yourself so that you always give yourself grace in going through the ups and downs of life.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So even in this, you want so much. I keep making this point, but you want so much. And all of us, it's okay to aspire for so much, right? But even what you're going for, you're not missing anything that really matters to you.
Right.
Because you already love yourself the way you are. That's the difference. That's why we can go like this. That's why it's even more free. Because you love yourself. Now, if you needed these things that you're trying to get to fill that other part of you, remember, we talked about your 75-day challenge is body and mind. It weren't just body. It's different things that human beings need. Mind, body, spirit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's certain things that you have already. Living a quiet money type life for real. Which is knowing that you love yourself and you have people in life that genuinely love you.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm telling you. That's all that you basically need to try to do anything. And I really believe that even before you get to the technical aspects of anything, that's the big fundamental flaw with a lot of reason why people don't get to any certain places in their life. Is because they don't love themselves and they don't feel loved by somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I want people to really hear that, whether you believe me or not, when you have them two basic things in your life, a lot of the other things you do, they somewhat seem to get easier. You see what I'm saying? It's something when you fall, you're able to even try to get up. Back to the girl Randy, that I met in school, that's somebody that I knew love themselves. And it should. It should. I'm not surprised by that. It makes this something that you could be excited and scared to do. You know what I'm saying? But I promise you, like, the only reason I could even do this podcast with you is because all the other major things that really mean something are already okay. Serious. So we can go through it, bump, and if we don't, it's okay.
But what if we do?
But what if we do? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I do know that I need the accountability. Absolutely.
Of course. But that's what I'm here for.
That works. Nah.
And vice versa. I don't care to be accountable.
I mean, you do, but it's with workouts, we both don't feel like it.
I know, because I've been trying to snack.
You're eating. You're snacking.
Yeah.
You're snacking.
Yeah. Yeah. But hey, look, man, just thinking about everything, like, it's not easy, but when it's hard, you gotta tap into the right things. You gotta stop. You gotta acknowledge that. Don't let it freeze you up. Don't let it paralyze you. You know what I'm saying? Identify what the challenge is ahead. You know what I'm saying? Be honest with yourself about what has to be done for you to hit that challenge. Like you know some of the rules, cool. But at the same time, recognize what really happens to a lot of people and probably yourself, which is when it's really, really hard, you may just quit and not do it. But more than not, you're on this up, down, bumpy path of just trying to get it done. And you keep trying and you keep trying. And the only reason, really, that in that challenge, you and I would do it that way is because of how hard it is.
Mm-hmm.
If it was one day, if it was a 1 day challenge, we do it.
But like you said, even if we fail, we are still getting better along the way. We're still looking a little different.
For sure.
Yeah, we're still making progress, slow progress.
For sure.
So.
For sure.
Still something to be proud of.
It definitely is. Nah, the thing with that challenge, and I want to leave everybody with this, and you know, we're not technically a Christian show per se, but we're Christians, clearly, you know what I'm saying? But the thing that we've talked about on our show is believing that we're here for a period of time, but our lives is based on being ready for what's going to happen after this. You know what I'm saying? And realizing that we're here for a purpose that God has for us that's unique to us. And we believe that success is included in that. When we leave this earth, that's what our lives is basically judged on, how we lived our life here. And I hope that when that day comes, that whatever I was supposed to do here to make an impact, I've actually done it and figured out what that is. And I feel like I'm actually learning more and more that what that is. And for me, it's making moments for people, impacting people, and telling them my story. And I realize that more and more because there's so many things that's happened to me that have continued to connect each other and pull me out of different fires and situations. And I'm like, this is a story I'm supposed to tell to people. You know what I'm saying? And I also know that that's what I'm supposed to do because just like you, it's something I'm ignored for a long time because it's just like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would I do that? But now it makes sense more and more to me that that's what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean?
That's that wisdom.
I'm telling you. But anyway, my point that I wanted to end with today as everybody's listening, again, make sure you subscribe to our podcast and our Patreon. We gotta, get this going.
Yeah. But I think we should, when we do the 75 hard, we should put something on the Patreon.
We should.
Like just, for the people that support Quiet Money.
We should.
We're going to do something special for you.
We should.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's commit to it.
75 hard?
Let's commit to the 75 hard and put something special on. Now, we don't know what that is, but they can track us.
Yeah.
And see what we're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
You feel it? Nah.
So do you agree?
I agree. I'll do it. This is what I wanted to end with, guys, because as you're sitting there and you're listening, you're like, well, what if I'm that type of person that's like, damn, I'm going to do this challenge. I'm going to do a little bit. I'm going to fold. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to be getting a little bit better over time. People's going to see it, be celebrating me, but I'm going to realize that I'm not doing the best that I could be. Like, what do I do for all of that? I want you guys to leave with this, right? And it's something that I picked up, still talking about working out, but it's something that I picked up when I started working out like 2 years ago. Even though with the 75 challenge, we talked about how we wouldn't be able to do it according to the rules right away, and we'd struggle and we'd go up and down and this and that. I love Randa's answer to how she will handle it because she's given herself grace. She's already happy. She knows that she's getting better through time, and she's not going to quit. She's going to keep going at it. But sometimes what I want to end with is that even though she was doing that 75-day challenge, and we know what it could bring us or not, we don't know what also could happen during that time when we're doing this 75-day challenge. That's the part of life that God knows that we don't know. So we are supposed to do our part, which is like, go give it our best, sign up for this challenge, work hard at it. We're humans, we're limited. And whatever comes out of it, that's our part to do, is to do the best that we can. But sometimes bigger things could happen than what you originally thought. You see what I'm saying? So now, for example, when I started working out 2 years ago, the goal was I had to lose weight. I just had to lose weight. You know what I'm saying? And we took that video, me sliding on the slide. I looked like I was stuck in the slide, a big purple sweatsuit on, looking real terrible. But the immediate goal was I got to work hard and I got to lose this weight. You hear me, guys? And That was my goal. And I worked hard at it. And I still didn't really change my eating habits. And, I eat a little better, but I still snack and this, and that. And I'm not perfect neither. I'm not sitting here with six-pack crazy or nothing like that. But I want you guys to remember something. What's happened to me is that for the last 2 years, I actively work out. And I'm an active person. I play sports, I coach, and I work out pretty frequently. And if I think about my life 2 years ago or 3 years ago, there's a way that I used to eat that I don't eat consistently that way anymore. So as I go through this life, that has changed the type of person I am and my behaviors. Back to what you said about the 75 days and the habits and things like that. Even though you didn't finish the 75 days perfectly, as you're going up and down and up and down and up and down, you're changing. As a person, you're becoming somebody that's striving to be better, that's continuing to respond every time you fall a little bit short. And you're no longer the person that's looking at the 75-day challenge like, whoa, and not doing anything. You get what I'm saying? And I love that because that's really what you're going to have to do. And it's okay that if over time you are somebody that has consistently or somewhat inconsistently worked out for a whole year, now you're a person that's active and working out a couple days a week out of the year. You never hit that 75-day challenge. So yeah, that was one level of success that would have been like, the ultimate, right?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's what the trainers really banking on when they do these types of challenges. It's something deeper to it, which is, can I help this person become somebody that's health conscious and active as they go forward in their life?
Mm-hmm. And
that's what happens when we decide to give it our best and go through the ups and downs of things. You get that? And that's why what you said is perfect, because you are happy. And of course you want to get to that other level, but you're happy with knowing that you've been doing the best you can because you are actually improving and you are succeeding on the path that maybe was meant for you. And it's okay. Got to give ourselves a break. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to try to get the 75 days done.
Don't get it twisted.
We're going to try to get the 75 days done. But I want people to remember, like, give yourself a break. Recognize it's going to be ups and downs as you try to do these really, really big things in your life. But don't sit there, please, and have one measuring stick for success. Because if you ain't been successful really before, even what you're thinking, you might not even really know what it looks like yet. And if you're somebody like us and you believe that there's something here that's specifically on this earth for you to achieve, you just have to go and do your due diligence and let it be revealed to you. Because you don't even know the capabilities for your own life. So I'm going to end with that. And Randy, I'm going to come back to this. But you said, why not you? And I think that's the perfect way to end this. Because why not you? You don't know what's planned for you. And neither does anybody else. But you're working hard at it. And you're putting yourself in the right spaces, right?
Yeah.
I love you.
And I love you back.
Hey, make sure you subscribe to our podcast on all platforms that have podcasts, Quiet Money Podcast. I'm your host, Dax. This is Randy. We love our show. We hope that you guys make sure you tap in with us. And we're just keeping it real about life and everything that we're doing. And we want to hear from you. So until next time, peace. Make sure you follow Quiet Money Podcast on all streaming platforms that have podcasts. Follow us on Instagram. Leave comments on our videos. Let us know what you're going through, ups and downs. We want to hear from you. We engage with you. And we'll see you next time. Peace.